welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing this summer tutorial creating this look I have right here featuring the Morphe Dare to Create palette. They recently relaunched it, so it is back in stock and back to be available, and I'm so happy because it's one of my absolute favorites they have come up with. So they just have so many great options in there in such big pan sizes. It's a huge palette, so I'm very, very happy that they brought it back. So in honor of that, today this eye look is going to be created from that palette. Before I jump in, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the videos I have planned and coming up for you guys. But yeah, if you want to see how I came up with this look, then stay tuned and let's go ahead and start playing with some makeup. Okay, so hair is back. Face has been cleaned and it's looking awfully splotchy today, so sorry about that. But to go ahead and start out, I'm going to prime, and for that I'm going to use the Lorac Light Source 3-in-1 Illuminating Primer because I want to go for a more dewy look since it is summertime. Just going to apply that all over my face, and I just do this with my fingers. You may not want to if you're somebody who just doesn't like stuff on their fingers because it will leave you with some residue that you'll want to wipe off before touching your brushes or anything else, but it's just as easy for me to apply with my hands. For foundation, I'm going to use something I haven't used in actually quite a while. One, because in the winter I wasn't dark enough for it, and as I said in my last video, I haven't ever self-tanned before. But I'm finally dark enough to wear it, and I still really love this stuff. And so for foundation, I'm going to use the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place foundation. Absolutely love this stuff. It's so beautiful on the skin. One thing I don't like about it is the spout. It is a pore spout. However, I have heard that a lot of the MAC pumps will fit for this. So if you have those, it should work for this as well. However, I do not, so I'm just going to carefully kind of pour this on my hand and use my brush to apply. What I'm using for concealer is my staple go-to Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define concealer. Just using that to highlight my face area. Also, I am keeping my lips covered with the foundation because the lip I'm using today is really light and I wanted to stick to the true color, and I have really pigmented lips, so you'll just have to please bear with the ghost face for a little bit here. I'm just going to go back in with the same brush that I used for my foundation and blend that out. Oh, and just in case you guys are wondering, the shade I used for the foundation is the Ecru shade, and the concealer is C1. Don't really know what color that is, but it's pretty much the lighter shade. I'm like super excited to, at the end of the week, be testing out some self-tanner and trying to actually be tan and not crazy pale. When I was growing up, I was always tan because I lived in the South in Texas, and you get a lot of sun that time, you know, more often, and it's not cold more often, so you can actually go out and enjoy the sun. And we had a boat, so we were always on the boat in the summer, so I'm excited to kind of try to get back to that. To set my face, I'm going to be using the Coty Airspun powder, and this is in the shade Translucent. That was probably a little bit, you know, too much, but the one downside of this being so much, you do get so much product for so little, which is why I love it. It's a great value, but the problem with it is you get so much product that just like, you end up with this. So I'm going to move on to my eyes while I let this sit. So to start out, I'm going to use the Urban Decay Primer Potion for my eyelids first. And as promised, I'm going to be using the Dare to Create palette by Morphe since it just came back. I'm so glad they brought it back because this palette is amazing. So just to show with you guys, I've used this quite a bit. It's not new at all, so sorry that there's fallout all over, but you get so much. I mean, look how huge this pan is. It is more expensive than their other palettes, but look how much you get. You get all these transition shades in the middle, which you can even use for bronzers if you want, and then all of these colors, you get the full spectrum pretty much of the rainbow. So I'm really so happy that they brought this back, and like I said, in honor of that, that's what we're gonna be using today. So to start out, I'm gonna start with the lightest shade over here and use that just to kind of set that primer and use as my transition shade. And then I am going to go in with this shade right here, this kind of orangey shade. Now these do not have names on them as per most of the Morphe. So I'm just going to be pointing out which ones, and they don't have names. And with that shade, I'm going to go in with my brush here and put it in the crease. My mind is just like blah, 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 blah. I just spilled a little bit like all over, and then I got some of my finger dug into this bronzer here. So I'm like, mind is everywhere. Then I'm going to go in with this shade right here, which is this really pretty bright, kind of shimmery corally shade, and put that in my crease over that other shade that we just used, that more orangey shade. And I'm really just going to kind of blend that in and build it up to get a lot of impact, a lot of color payoff. And then I'm going to go in with this maroon shade right here, and I'm going to kind of pop that on the outer V in the outer part of my crease. Then I'm just going to go back in with that first brush that had the orange on it and just kind of blend all that out on the tops, just to really kind of lift my eyes, because I do have hooded eyes and they do kind of come down at the end, so any little bit of lift they can get is good. So next then I'm going to go in, kind of keeping with the pink theme we've got, and I'm going to go in with this kind of rose gold color right here, and I'm going to take a flat brush that I am wetting down to really get all of that pigmentation to stick. Just going to apply that all over my eyelid. Now I'm just going to finally dust away the bake underneath, because that has been sitting long enough. And then with a flat brush, I'm going to go back into this really pretty coral pink color and line my lower lash line. So for highlight, I'm going to use something different, because unfortunately that palette really just doesn't have a very good highlighter. That is the one downside, besides the fact that there's no mirror. So I'm going to go in with the Spotlight palette by Smashbox, and I'm going to go in with this very light shade right here and use that for the inner corners, and I'm going to also use that for the brow bone. For eyeliner, I'm going to be using the Soap & Glory Super Cat eyeliner. It's a little hard to get open. And then for mascara, I'm going to be using my Benefit Roller Lash mascara. I feel like it is slowly getting darker in here because it's like thundering outside and raining, and so it's like slowly getting darker and darker and darker. So sorry if my lighting has changed. I do have other lights in here, but you know, it still affects it. So just want to apologize for that and for any thunder sounds you might hear in the background. For bronzer, I'm going to go in with the Juvia's Place Saharan Palette Volume 2 and go in with Yara right here. My cat does not like thunder, so he's hiding behind me. For blush, I'm going to go in with the same palette, and I'm going to go in with Towel right here, just because that seems to go best with this eye look. And it really is just such a pretty color. And for the highlight, I'm going to go back into the Spotlight palette, but I'm going to go in with the center shade right here. Then for brows, I'm going to go in with the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Brow Lift Duo. And finally, it's time to fix the washed look that my face has and go in with lips. And so I'm going to use two different products. I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Catsuit Liquid Lip in Nudist Peach. And then over top of that, I'm going to go in with the ColourPop Cosmetics. I'm going to go in with the ColourPop Ultra Metallic Lip in Glam. And this was from the Laura Lee collab that they did. Okay, you guys, I lied. I decided instead of that one, instead of Glam, I wanted less metallic, more kind of shiny glittery. So instead, I went in with that same ColourPop collab with Laura Lee, but I instead used Wham, which is this really pretty champagne-y, glittery lip gloss. So to lock all of this in place, you guessed it, some setting spray here. So I'm going to go in with my MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus. So here you guys have it. This is the final Summer Bright Pink makeup look featuring the Morphe Dare to Create palette look that I have come up with. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. It's very bright, very summery, kind of goes with my shirt okay. So I'm happy with the way it turned out. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, don't forget to subscribe before you go so you don't miss out on any of the videos I have coming up for you guys. I'm doing a lot of pre-filming, so I know that I'm going to be having quite a few coming up, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on those and hit that notification bell just in case. And as always, until I can get those videos out for you guys, thank you again for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.